Two moms, two marketers, two women new to the financial industry. They have a lot of questions. That's why they're bringing in financial experts to educate all of us here on A Penny or Two for Your Thoughts.
Hey everyone, it's Chantal and Liz with another episode of A Penny or Two for Your Thoughts. Every time I say it, I have some weirdness in it. Like it goes up or down or something.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I was trying to put my finger on, you said you had a song and you had a lot of songage in your head prior to just literally saying that sentence. And I was kind of wondering, what song, let's play the game. What song was in Chantel's head?
I can't. I don't know. I don't know.
I couldn't tell you.
The problem here is that we are recording in the morning. I don't know if we've ever done this.
No, this is early.
Yeah.
This is before lunch, guys, before snack.
Stomachs are going to growl.
Yeah.
They're going to speak.
You're going to hear some weird noises in the background.
Are you in the mornings, are you a hit your snooze kind of person?
No, I get feet on the ground right away. As soon as my alarm goes off, I stand up.
And then what? And then fall over.
And then and then I kneel down next to my bed and put my head on my bed. So I'm not
but I'm still awake.
But I'm still awake. I'm still out of my bed. No, I literally feet on the ground, get going. That's because I will, if I hit snooze, I won't get up.
Yeah, I know. I've been really trying. I've been working, you and our past guest, Chrissy Cunningham, have started an awesome group at work called Better Than Yesterday. And just take a pause there for a second.
She said it right. Lately, she's been calling it Better Than You. I don't know. It just floated out of her mouth one day. She was like, when we go to that Better Than You group, and I just kind of looked at her, I'm like, what?
Okay, Better Than Yesterday. So I'm really working on the no snooze, and it's been working. So
that's awesome.
Yeah. But today I feel kind of sleepy. So we'll see how we get through this one.
Okay. If you hear noises, she's probably snoozing. It's not her stomachs.
Oh yeah, I can't promise anything.
So there's gonna be a couple noises that are happening, snoozing and stomachs.
Hold on, buckle up, Buttercup.
Yeah,
this is gonna be a good one today.
This is gonna be a good one. We got a couple of really awesome guests.
Mm-hmm.
One of which I'm pretty sure is just shaking his head and wondering why.
Why did I do this? Yeah. Why did I say it?
Well, he already said this is why I'm not on the fourth floor with you guys.
Yeah, I mean, he's gonna change his mind.
He is.
Yep.
We're a fun group.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm just going to go ahead and jump right in and introduce our guests today. And yes, folks, I said that plural. Yes, we have two guests on today, not just one, but two. And our first guest, she's no stranger to this podcast. And I'm not meaning that she listens to it because she probably really doesn't, but she's been on it before. She's a former police officer, has been with the credit union for over 5 years as a fraud investigator and analyst. Only problem is she's a Hawkeye fan through and through, but she loves sports. She loves all the sports balls that there are. Welcome back. Basketball, baseball, football, sports balls. Right, Cam?
Yep. Love the sports balls.
Love the sports balls. He's trying not to laugh. All right. Welcome back to the show, Ash Goodsell.
Hey.
Hi. I'm glad
She's
to be
like,
back.
I'm not sure if I should talk.
We're back.
If I don't say anything, I don't have to do this.
Nope.
Fearful for my life. Oh, our second guest just walked out. No, I'm just kidding. Our second guest, he is newer to Centris, and he's a new one to the podcast. He's probably not listened to it. He might listen to this episode.
Yeah, he should.
Yeah, maybe we can recruit him. He's approaching actually his 1 year anniversary at Centris. He previously worked for a large commercial bank in California as a cybersecurity engineer. But fun fact, this is going to blow you away. Fun fact. He has his pyrotechnician's license and he can blow things up professionally.
Knowing this individual.
So we need to be friends with him.
Yeah, but knowing him, it's frightening to me.
Yes. Yeah. I want you guys to meet our very own lead information security engineer who's going to blow your mind today, Rich Courtright.
Hi, guys.
Hi. Oh, man. That was an introduction.
Wasn't that punny? Was it punny? Did I do a good job?
You did.
Yeah.
I wish I could be that quick, but nope, not happening today.
Well, I'm shocked I'm that quick this early. I'm surprised things are firing
Oh man.
Nope.
Here all day.
Okay.
All day.
I'm here for every episode, folks.
Oh,
every
man.
episode.
Cybersecurity and fraud today. And we have no intention of scaring people today, but there is some things happening in this world that are scary. And we have these two experts to talk us through all the things that we need to know. So thank you guys for joining.
Yeah, thanks for jumping on with us.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
So we're just going to jump in. Are you ready?
Sure.
Are you ready?
Let's do it.
All right. So just talk to us a little bit about how did you get into your roles in the first place? What intrigued you and got you into this very important area?
Rich, you're the guest. I've been a veteran here on the show.
Okay.
Take it away.
I'll go
Sit
first.
back
then.
and watch her
Okay.
take
So
this over.
growing up, I was the computer geek through and through.
Oh.
Loved computers, loved programming and playing video games, of course.
Mm-hmm.
So that was a really big interest of mine. Through my career, I've been involved in one kind of technology or another, pretty much for my entire career.
Good.
And then I'm also a big problem solver. I love problem solving. And so cybersecurity is a great combination of technology and problem solving and kind of art and science. And it was just absolutely perfect for me.
That's great.
That's great.
You're also a chef too, right?
Yeah. The one time I didn't use technology was when I was a chef. I owned my own catering company for about 10 years and
Awesome.
the lead chef. And
Problem solving for that, for sure.
it was a lot of problem solving. Yeah.
Mine's more problems than ever solving when I'm cooking, but
So then I have to ask the question, did something happen in the kitchen that led then to the pyrotechnician's
Oh,
license? Like, were you like, I think I'm going to set this on fire?
No, it was my dad. My dad got
Really?
me into it. Yeah, he got his pyrotechnician's license when I was, 14, 15 years old. He was just doing it for a club that he was with, and they wanted to save some money, so he got his pyrotechnician's license, so they didn't have to hire somebody out. So I grew up starting to do it when I was young, and I got to do some really, really cool things. I was at the Michael Jackson Victory Tour.
Whoa.
Oh,
I
wow.
was backstage for that and doing pyrotechnics when I was like 16 years old.
Wow.
And met Mr. T and Rockwell and a bunch of old people from the 80s and everything. Didn't get to meet Michael, but I did see I saw LaToya and Janet.
Nice.
Oh,
They were both
wow.
backstage. So it's really cool. And I've blown stuff up at Universal Studios. I've blown stuff up at Knott's Berry Farm on barges out in the water. And yeah, it's been really cool.
That is
Wow,
cool.
that's awesome.
I don't know if when your dad said, I'd like to save some money on pyrotechnics, I'm just going to get my certificate. If that is the, best way to go. But I like the idea of
That's kind of the way we think in our family.
save money. Let's go blow some stuff
Yes.
up.
We'll just do it ourselves.
We'll do it ourselves. It's fine. Oh, awesome.
Awesome.
Oh,
How about you, Ash?
Gosh, I have to follow that.
Oh, come on.
All right. Well, I don't blow things up. I try to prevent them from blowing.
Nice.
Oh, that was
Fun.
smooth.
Nice.
Mhm.
Well, with law enforcement, from a law enforcement family, so I like the understanding how things change and grow. Crime changes, cybersecurity is changing, investigations change. So I am the person that likes to figure out how it happened. And so I've kind of like Rich, I like to figure it out. I like the details. I like to dig and find the clues, put the pieces together. So I kind of just have always been that person with math, investigating, figuring out and solving the problems,
That's great.
but not blowing them up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Contain it.
Contain
it.
Very good.
Which is why you two probably work really well together.
Mhm.
Yes.
So we kind of hit on it today, not to scare anybody, but there's a lot going on. I mean, we hear it in the news. We see it in our day-to-day jobs with cybersecurity and scams and frauds. What are some of the most prevalent threats that are facing individuals and businesses today?
Quite frankly, the biggest threat that faces individuals and businesses today is going to be loss of authentication credentials. So the loss of your username and password, the loss of personal information, address, credit card numbers, your social security number, all those types of things. And those affect both businesses and they affect personal. The problem is that once somebody gets a hold of your username and password, they're in. Other than multi-factor authentication, which is getting easier and easier to bypass, unfortunately. They have free access to pretty much everything that they need at that point. It's the nightmare scenario for a business, especially, is somebody getting access to your network with valid credentials. Because once they're in, it's hard to find them. It's really hard.
Yeah. Oh, that's scary.
Yes, it is.
And just to off what Rich says, like when he's thinking about the business, then you think of the personal, right? He's saying like you have all those passwords, you have all your usernames. What we're starting to see now, and everyone I think has felt it or seen it, is you're getting spoof text, spoof emails, and you're just thinking, oh, my password was used. I'm going to go in there and click on this link. Those links are just gateways for those fraudsters, like Rich says, with those businesses where they maybe know a portion of the information and they're seeing if you will click on something to help get them that last bit of information, and then the mayhem is created and you have to start over. They're trying to cultivate all that information based on what we put out there on our platforms.
Yeah, there's so much information out there. It's really easy to target an individual. I got a phone call a couple of months ago from somebody claiming to be from my bank that I use. And they knew the name of my bank. They obviously knew that I was a customer, and they kept trying to get me to give them my account number. And, fortunately I did not give it to them.
Picked the wrong guy.
They picked the wrong guy to call that day. But yeah, I mean, it's amazing how much information they can give you, especially like with social media. This is something that people really need to think about, is people give away a lot of information freely on social media and to companies and to everybody else. Social media, these guys will go through, and if they have your name, they have, personal information on you, they'll go to Facebook, they'll go to Instagram. And if you're on their posting about your personal life, it's really easy to access that information and to get any information that they need, maybe not even to scam you directly, but if they know that you're a customer of Apple, they can call up Apple and they say, hey, I'm so-and-so and I lost my password, and they'll ask them for information to verify them. They may already have that information from your social media account.
Wow. You think it's a tool just to share information and connect with people in a good way. That's what it was supposed to be for. And then it turns into a tool that's really easy to kind of get lost.
Well, the internet was supposed to be a good thing too.
Yeah.
We all see what it's become.
True. That's true. So there's a lot of words that fly around in your worlds: ransomware, phishing, that's just two.
Yeah. Those are big ones.
Those are big ones. Those are two words. So we're going to start with ransomware attacks. Okay. So can you explain what those are and, what individuals and businesses do to protect themselves from ransomware?
Sure. So at its most basic level, a ransomware attack is somebody getting access to your computer and then encrypting your data, your information, your files, your servers, and holding those for ransom. They want a payment to give you a decryption key to get your information back. Most of the time, ransomware gets on your computer as a piece of malware. And most of the time, about 91% of the time, it comes through email. That's 91% of all cybersecurity incidents start with an email or involve email at some point. They're able to get you to click on something, go to a website, do a drive-by download, be able to interact with you at somehow, or there's something directly attached to the email, a Trojan or some type of malware that downloads to your computer, installs, and then it's off and running.
So hitting on ransomware, then I know data breaches are a significant concern, and that can happen from those ransomware attacks. What steps should businesses take to secure their sensitive information?
Yeah, there's a lot of ways that they can do that. Again, controlling the vector of attack is the most important thing. It's preventing that data breach from ever happening is the best way to guard it, to protect yourself. So again, filtering your email, going through, getting rid of, using technology as much as you can to filter out and get rid of malicious emails and scams and everything else that comes through, and business email compromise and all the other types of things that we see. And really the other big component is education. It's educating your employees. They need to know not only, that they could be attacked through phishing or some other, or social engineering or all kinds of different areas, but they will be attacked. Absolutely everybody in a company will at some point get a phishing email, so they have to be able to have the education to know how to spot that, to know how to deal with it when it does happen, and to be aware and not click on on any links, any attachments. Don't respond, don't interact.
Talking about phishing, dive into that just a little bit deeper. What does that look like for an organization, for an individual, when you get those? And like you said, it's not if, it's when that's going to happen. What are some things that people should be looking for when they get those type of emails?
Yeah, there's some relatively common themes that happen with the different phishing emails. A lot of times there will be some kind of request for information, either a password or even an account name, username, something like that. Looking for login credentials. Sometimes the email will be asking for credit card information. A lot of times it's accompanied with either threats or a sense of urgency, or even that you've won something and it's a, once in a lifetime opportunity. And it's kind of the, something's too good to be true. It's probably not. These are the things that people fall for. Some of in Centris, I send out fake phishing emails every month.
Yes, and you do a very good job of those.
Thank you. And some of the ones that are most effective are the ones where it says, hey, your boss thinks you've done a great job. Here's a link for your Amazon reward.
It breaks my heart.
I'm looking directly at you, Chantal.
I know.
Oh. Well, here's the funny thing. I was in a meeting with you. I think I was in, and I looked at you and I go, you just sent me an email that I won something. I'm like, this is total Rich. And I clicked phishing.
Click on it.
And it was like, congratulations, you just saved your company, blah, blah. And I was like, ha.
Yeah.
You can't get me.
The other one that really gets people, and I really feel bad sending this one out, but it is a legitimate way that people get into it, is, I'll send out emails that say, this is so-and-so from the HR department, and we've just been informed that somebody has lodged a complaint against you. We need you to click on this to get in and file some kind of a response, or get a hold of me or whatever.
And our group wouldn't even surprise.
No. I know. You wonder why I have trust issues. Trust issues.
This is why we can't do lunch anymore.
And I thought oatmeal raisin cookies was going to do it for me. It's Rich. It's Rich.
Oh my gosh.
That's good.
It's mean, but
I don't mean to laugh, but like that's
how these guys get in, and a lot of times the phishing is combined with social engineering. If you look back at some of the really big attacks that have happened lately, like MGM Grand, MGM Grand and Caesars were both hit in the same week. And the way that happened is these guys had information about an individual employee at the company, which they scraped probably from LinkedIn. They called the help desk, posing as that particular employee, had some information, and was able to social engineer the people at the help desk to literally just give them the access to the network.
Wow.
And they were in.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. It's crazy. So it's that combination of information that's out there along with social engineering, and it's just good old fashioned fraud.
Yeah.
These things are effective, and that's what these guys do.
Yeah, I was going to say, Ash, you experience this a lot with our members.
When we, we have some of our members that are getting emails, of course, but we're seeing it more from the phishing standpoint in the fraud realm of the text messages, right? Because everyone has their phone. My 7 and 8-year-old have their phone. They get text messages all the time. And it's that sense of urgency, like what Rich is saying. And what's different that is like the red flags that our members need to kind of pay attention to is the phone number doesn't make sense, right? And knowing like, hey, I do get this, or I need to call Centris. Is this something I would get from them? People assume, right, based on their way of interacting with people, instant gratification, instant response. And so you get that text of your debit card's been used for $500. Oh my gosh, I only have $500 in my account. Click this link. It's from an 831 area code. Doesn't make sense, but it's that sense of urgency. Does it make sense? How do I have my card? Do I use our companion app to see what my debit card's doing? They're trying to push you to immediately engage, to create that communication that they want to get you to connect, because then our members are unfortunately on the phone with these individuals for hours, cultivating what we've talked about, that POI information, social security, account number, where do you bank? They're getting in those portals just based on one small text. If we just slow down, read the email, read the text. Can I take 5 minutes and call my bank and just make sure?
Right.
I mean, there's so many other precautions. It's that sense of urgency. Nothing is really that urgent,
right?
Email or text.
Yeah.
Well, and we live in a world where everything is almost instantaneous. So we've got, everything's now streaming. You don't have to worry about commercials. Everything comes to you pretty quickly through the internet and everything. So that instant, I'll just click this link real quick and
just check it. Let's move on. And
and if you just stop and take that 5 minutes, which we all know we have.
We do. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, if you stop and think about how many emails you get in a day and you click on something, it's an advertisement for some product that maybe you use, or it's something from somebody that and you just click a link, you don't even think about it.
Right.
But all of these things can be vectors for attack.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah. If you just hover that mouse over that link and really quickly look at what that link is linked to.
Right.
Yep. Could save a lot.
And I think Rich had a great point. I don't, like we said, want to scare people, right?
Yeah. Right.
It's like educating our kids, our family, our parents, our employees. It's okay to report it. No business that I would hope in this economy would be like, oh, well, gosh darn it. Thanks. Even if you click on it, Rich, I clicked on it. Okay, well, maybe let's figure out like what you miss.
Right.
I think it needs to be also put out there. You have to educate and reward those that are listening to the education because of the large impact that we're having.
Absolutely.
You shouldn't feel ashamed. I tell our members, never feel ashamed for clicking on it. Let's fix it.
Right. Yep.
Let's point it out. Let's learn and let's move on from it.
Yeah.
Yep.
And we make fun of the education that you give us, but it has been just absolutely changed for me, just to make sure that I am looking at. And you had said, so hovering over the links, if it doesn't look right, or it seems weird, or it looks like it's coming from, that's what it will look like. It really does. And I think that's what our listeners should really be paying attention to, because it's that quick little, let me stop. I've been educated on this. Let me just stop for a second. And then, like you said, call us. We want to know. Call your financial. They're going to be the first to be able to say, no, this is not right.
Yeah,
so.
Absolutely. And within our company, anybody that ever has a question, they're always welcome to call me. And, I'm more than happy if they've got an email that they think is suspicious, I'll take a look at it. I can see where it came from, and I can track it down and see if, it's probably legitimate, or, maybe you want to throw it away.
Absolutely.
Don't respond.
Absolutely.
Right.
How about online payment fraud? We know this is a big thing happening, because this is how we shop, right? That's so easy, and you just click and done, and I'm going to have my package, right? Yeah, no, and it doesn't show up, and my credit card's charged 500 times or whatever that looks like. How do we kind of control that and get our arms wrapped around that?
Yeah. That one's a tough one, because there is so many transactions that take place online now. People typically pay their utility bills online, and they're paying their credit cards online, and they're buying stuff from Amazon and buying stuff from here and there. And, their credit cards in 1,000 different places. It's really hard. One of the things that you can do is try to use trusted sites. Generally, if you see an offer on the internet for, $5 for a new car, it's probably going to be a scam, from some website you've never heard of before.
Gotta reevaluate. Well,
so, just be skeptical about it and use trusted sites. Verify the sites that you're on. Also verify, going back to the email thing and any other kind of communications, always verify the person that you're actually communicating with, either on the phone, via text, via email, whoever it is. Verify that this person is actually who they claim to be. When that person called me on the phone trying to scam me out of, my account information, the thing that I kept telling him was, I don't know who you are.
Right.
You tell me who you are, but I don't know who you are. I'm going to hang up with you. I'm going to call my bank at a number that I know.
Right.
The number that I know that is a legitimate number for my bank, not some number that you give me, not some number that's attached to an email. I'm going to call the number that I know, and I'm going to ask to talk to their fraud department. And the fraud department will tell me if this is actually a legitimate exchange that we're having or not.
Yep.
And that was the point that he finally hung up.
Yep. Again,
and then you're like, I clearly do not need to call.
Exactly. But I did call, and I reported it to the fraud department anyway, just to let them know. But going back to the online payment fraud, the other thing that you can do is use an intermediary for payment. Don't give your credit card number out on the internet to a site. If they have Apple Pay, use Apple Pay. That way your credit card is only with Apple. Apple's handling that transaction between you and the website. If they get that information from Apple, they can't necessarily use that again. Apple's got very good fraud protection against that. Same thing with PayPal. Any of the big payment companies like that can all act as that intermediaries where you're not putting your individual credit card information into a website that either, if that website is not a legitimate website, then they're going to abuse that number. Or, as often happens, unfortunately, is these websites and these companies get breached and somebody goes in and steals all the credit card information because all of that stuff is stored online.
Great information. Very good information.
Yeah, that's what we see a lot of the PayPal, the Apples, the Cash Apps. Everybody's living in that instant, right? Wallet to wallet. The good thing is like with our Apple products, I'm an Apple user. So I use my Apple Pay or I use my PayPal because it's a 2-step authentication. So I have to put in my phone number. I have to put my code in. So I click on, even on Amazon, I want to use my PayPal. It will actually require me to sign into my PayPal with my face on my Apple phone, confirm it, and then it will pull from my Apple Wallet, which is tokenized on my device solely and only to me and my phone number and my debit card.
Okay.
So there's multiple layers. So I always encourage our members, hey, if you are going to make those online purchases, try to use the PayPals, the Venmos, the Apples, the Samsung wallets, because there's so many layers that are central to you as a person and that debit card usage, right? Because we're focused on the debit fraud.
Right.
You have wallets that are taken over all the time. Comes down to your username and your password. Do not use the same username and password for Venmo, PayPal, Cash App, because if you can hack into one, they're going to try it for a couple different situations, and then you don't have access to your wallets, which is extremely hard to gain back access to those. So again, authentic usernames and passwords across the board.
Very good. Very good information. So you brought up a good point of having different usernames, passwords across everything. So there's an increasing prevalence of internet, like we call it Internet of Things. So security, so such as your networked security, your cameras, smart appliances, Wi-Fi, capable autos, all of those things. How can people ensure that the security of their smart home or their office, or even now their smart car, because they're Wi-Fi capable? Right.
From a personal standpoint, the best thing that you can do is make sure that you keep those devices up to date and patched. If they release a new firmware update for it, put that firmware update onto that device. Make sure that it's always up to date and has the latest security features on it. From a business perspective, the thing that we want to do is to isolate those devices onto their own network. So we actually create a virtual a VLAN, which will put them off in their own network, to where if one of those devices do get breached, they can't get to the rest of the network. If a security camera, is used for a vector of attack, they're only going to be able to look at the other IoTs that are within that network. They're not going to be able to look at our computers. They can't get to them at all. But network segmentation is a little bit beyond the home user. So, again, just keeping them up to date. And then the other thing is just kind of, do you really need a refrigerator that's plugged into the internet? Limit your exposure.
It tells me the weather.
I mean, I think you're being a little judgy here, but no,
Mine doesn't talk to me.
Mine barely makes ice.
Mine beeps at me because I left the door open for 2 seconds.
Yeah.
Dang, that's fancy.
But, not everything needs to be plugged into the internet.
Right.
So just limit your exposure.
Perfect. Well, since my beeping fridge apparently is too bougie, really bougie. Are there any emerging technologies that are on the horizon that could significantly impact cybersecurity and fraud prevention?
Yes, two in particular. First one is quantum computing. Quantum computers are still in the lab at this point. Within the next 5 to 10 years, there will be quantum computers that are available to the public. These are computers that can do literally trillions of calculations a second. It is light years beyond what computers can do nowadays. When that happens, when quantum computers become available, passwords are useless. There is no password that cannot be cracked using a quantum computer, no matter how long, no matter how complex it is. it's trivial for a quantum computer to do these things, because a quantum computer, typical computers nowadays, they do one calculation at a time. They do a lot of them really, really fast, but quantum computers do all the calculations at the same time.
Wow.
So it's the computing power will be unbelievable when these things come out, and they are on the horizon. So that is really affecting cybersecurity. We're going back to the drawing board and we're thinking, okay, how are we going to protect people and how are we going to protect our things once these quantum computers become available? So a lot of cybersecurity researchers are currently working on new technologies. We do have some algorithms that are quantum computer safe that we can use to encrypt information. So those are already out, and we're looking at new technologies to be able to help protect us on a personal level. The other thing that's really going to and is changing cybersecurity is artificial intelligence, AI, and machine learning. These are getting better and better. Cyber criminals are currently using AI mostly to craft new phishing emails. One of the ways that you could always spot a phishing email in the past was it usually didn't have very good English language in it. Mm-hmm. Often there were spelling mistakes, grammatical errors, things like that. But with AI, anybody, whether they're a native speaker or not, can craft an email in English that's good English that nobody will be able to spot. Okay. The other thing that AI is really affecting is deepfakes. There was a company in Hong Kong not too long ago, a couple months ago, that got hit for $25 million. The way that they did it is they contacted an employee at the company, set up a Zoom call with them to initiate a transfer. It was supposedly the CEO contacting or CIO contacting this individual employee who was in charge of making transfers and knew these people, set up a Zoom call. Everybody in the Zoom call was a deepfake AI. She was the only real person on that Zoom call. These deepfake AIs convinced her that they were who they were, and she transferred $25 million to them.
So they're on Zoom looking like the people that she,
that's scary.
Frightening. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Wow.
So that's going to be a big thing. Not only facials, but voice, AIs are very good at faking voices. You can go to a website and you can have Joe Biden say anything you want, or Donald Trump, or Arnold Schwarzenegger, or any of the people that they've programmed in, but especially as more and more information, again, gets out on the internet and your voice is out there and there's more samples that they can take of that. That's all they need is they just need, maybe 2 or 3 minutes of audio recording from you, and a computer can fake your voice and make you say anything that they want it to say.
Wow. Incredible.
That's why we don't encourage to answer a scam call, right? Because we have seen the evolution that has been coming, that we've been hearing about the AI from a fraud investigator standpoint. And we all love to take the fraud calls, right? Like you guys hear me take them because it more is educational for me to understand what our members are feeling. But like Rich said, you answer yes or no, that's not my address. They're getting your voice. They're cultivating your information. They're seeing what you're willing to give to them. And they're taking that and then they're using your voice through AI and they're calling your contact center because you've just confirmed that you maybe do bank at Centris, and they're going to try to impersonate you through our call center. So we are learning education to educate our staff, but then we're trying to educate. It is really funny to listen to the scam calls, but now it's being used against you. So again, social media, don't engage. Try to minimize what you're truly engaging in to fight this AI, because it's coming. It's here.
It's here. Right?
Yep, it's here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, AI can be used for all kinds of nefarious purposes, like creating images that don't exist, or creating images that you wish exist, like the 49ers crushing the Lions in the playoffs last year.
And on this note, everyone, the podcast is over. Weird. We are having technical difficulty.
Cam, something's happening with our mics.
Bunch of baloney.
Wow.
Go Chiefs.
Just saying.
Like what?
Whoa.
I was gonna say like Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce make pictures, like all those floating around.
Yeah.
They're not together, but they are together. But it looks really good. Like
and everybody wants to see it and believes it, and then
and then it's like, oh, it's fake news.
You and me. Yeah, this is not happening here. AI.
Football season's only a few months away.
I know. Go Lions. Okay. Okay.
Go Big Red.
And,
Oh my God.
No?
all
Okay.
right.
Sports ball, anyone?
Sports ball.
Sports ball.
That's right. Okay. How about this question? Are you ready? So
No.
dramatic.
I know you like it's like awkward.
Okay. What are the top 3 things that individuals should do to protect themselves from cyber threats, fraud, all the things?
I wonder if Rich and I are going to have the same answers.
Ooh. Ooh, are you gonna buzz in?
Okay, let him
Oh,
say
like
one. I'll
game
say
show.
one.
Ooh,
Okay.
yes.
Okay, ready? You go first.
My number 1 is be skeptical of all email that you get ever. Be skeptical
Ever.
of
Mm.
every
Well, you've
email.
done a good job
Yes.
because I don't trust
Right.
one dang thing you send
Right
me.
now he says HR's gotten a complaint from HR.
That's
Yeah.
right. That's right.
Oh.
Yeah. No,
Okay.
you've got to be skeptical about any email that you receive,
Okay.
especially one that's asking for any kind of information,
Gotcha.
or even just trying to engage you in conversation back and forth.
Very good.
So every email that I get from Chantel, I can just
Yes.
ask.
Just
Did
delete it.
you
Yes.
really mean to
Report
tell
it as
me?
phishing,
You're
and yeah,
kind of sus.
you can just claim I never got it. Sorry.
Right. Sorry.
Every day. Fishing. Fish. 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 Okay, Ash.
Okay, well then I'll segue to my second one first though. I said try not to log into sensitive accounts with an unsecured network. Like if you're at Starbucks, do you really need to log in? Do you
Oh,
need
very
to
good.
like connect into a free Wi-Fi, right?
Those airports.
Airports. I know
Airports.
you get it, like, but don't click on someone's hotspot. You know, things like that.
Yeah.
Right. Just try to
Absolutely.
use the networks that you know are secured.
Mhm.
Right. Yeah. And if you do have to use an unsecured network, use a VPN.
Yep.
You know,
Ah.
there are free VPNs that are out there that are very, very good. NordVPN for one. You can download it to your phone. You can download it to your computer. When you do connect to the hotspot, then you engage the VPN. What that does is it creates a secure tunnel between your device and the internet, to where none of that information can be intercepted. Because that's the problem with public Wi-Fi's, is that somebody can be out there listening, and very often they are, and they can
Right.
intercept all that traffic going back and forth that's unencrypted.
Jeez.
Okay.
Scared yet? Okay.
What?
Second one.
Second one, my second one
Can I
is
click fish on that?
Yes. Fishing. Fish a real person. Like, oh my God.
it
Wait for me.
my second one is, again, limit your exposure. Don't give away your information for free. If you are going to post on social media, fine, post on social media, but leave personal stuff out.
Mhm.
Don't tell people your kids' names. Don't tell people, any information that they really don't need
Sure.
to know. Don't give out all of this information to, surveys on the internet. And
the surveys on
Yes,
Facebook,
Facebook,
right? Like if you
terrible.
click here, this is the type of person you are or whatever. Those are the worst.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. And if you
Yes.
look at those, when you connect to those things on Facebook and lots of other apps, is it'll pop up a little thing saying, hey, if you're going to do this, we're going to share this information with this person.
Mhm.
Look through that. You will be amazed at what it shares with people.
Mhm.
It shares your personal information. It shares the information of all the people that you're friends with. It shares all the information of the things that you've been looking at for the last 6 months. All of that information goes. And, these cyber criminals are not some guy sitting in a basement of his mom's house on a computer. These are actual businesses, especially like in Russia and China. These are legitimate companies. They have HR departments. They have offices. People go into work in these places, are employed in these places specifically for hacking. That's all they do, is gather information on you, pick a target, and try to get that target. These are not little small time guys. This is like
Right.
real legitimate people
Right.
that you are up against.
Wow.
So limit what you give out.
All right.
How do you explain that to somebody? What do you do for a living?
Hacker.
Use
I'm a lead
your
cybersecurity engineer.
yeah.
Oh.
Wait a second.
Reboot.
Okay, any email from Rich is
Yeah. Fishing.
fishing.
Oh, man. I would had mine that goes perfectly with that is if you do give out information or you're putting it out there and you realize what you've just done, freeze your credit. With COVID and all the data breaches and the compromises and what we are willing and freely giving out there, it's an option that if you freeze your credit, there are different levels of protection than from a financial fraud perspective to protect you from identity theft, loan fraud, account frauds that are being open, because everything now can be done digitally. You can open an account at Centris digitally now. You can go through the digital channel and get a loan.
Mm-hmm.
Putting that freeze on your credit slows down that process, helps protect that information that whether you gave it out or has been exposed somewhere.
Yeah, that's actually a really good point that she brings up is, don't be afraid to report these things. One of the things that these fraudsters rely on is the fact that if you figure out that you've been scammed, you're not going to say anything because you're embarrassed. You're not going to report them to the authorities. You're not going to call your credit card company. You're not going to call, your bank or anybody else because you are embarrassed that you got scammed, that you fell for it. That's what these guys rely on. But it needs to be reported. Within Centris, if somebody clicks on an email link that turns out to be malicious, get a hold of me as soon as possible.
Right.
Nobody's going to judge you. I'm not going to be mad at you. Your boss isn't going to be mad at you. We just need to know so that we can figure out if anything has happened.
Apparently, we're not going to HR then.
It's all a lie.
It's all hoax.
It's AI, my friend.
All right. Well, those are some great tips. Thank you for collaborating together on that.
Thanks. Like how we did that.
Great
Since you
idea.
did such a great job, I think we should have them do it one more time.
Yeah.
Yeah, collaborate one more time. So we're going to take it up a step.
Okay.
Okay.
We're going to take it up a step.
I'm ready.
Okay, so we did individual level.
Okay.
Let's go to the business side. So for businesses that are looking to improve their cybersecurity, what are the key steps they should prioritize?
Email. Prioritize the vector of attack. That's the best way to prevent against it. Put in email filtering software, either secure email gateway. There are all kinds of different information systems out there that can protect you against a lot of the stuff that comes through. Protecting email for me is the number one.
Very good.
That's a good one.
So I had basically that email and then making sure that even if you have one person in your business or you have 50, 100 employees, it doesn't matter. Making sure everyone, no matter what level of entry they are in that business, has that education of understanding the email. And then really, I know Centris does a really good job. You can't get on Facebook, right? Minimizing websites that have those portals to have more of the compromises that can burden that business. Don't allow, we can't get into Gmail at work, right? Like I have to go to my phone and I got to check my email if I need something from school, but minimizing those other threats that people want to use every single day on a business network is also very important.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it's explaining that to the employees, right? Because it's frustrating.
You're not punishing them.
Yeah, it's not a punishment. It really is. This is protecting us as an organization,
Right.
and all the things that we're doing every day to protect our members.
That's got to be part of the training is not only, what to look out for, but why you are looking out for it.
Right.
These are the things that can happen if it happens, businesses are literally put out of business. They collapse because they get breached internally and, they lose money, they lose information, their trust is ruined.
Right.
Reputation.
Businesses absolutely fold. Everybody gets fired because of one person clicked on an email.
Right.
It's terrible. But employee training is absolutely critical.
Very good. Wow, you guys left some great information on the table today. So thank you. We also like to end the segment with, your key leave for our members, a penny or two for your thoughts is how we like to leave this. So what is it that you want people to remember?
The internet and email is incredible technology. It has revolutionized the way that the world works. With any technology, you need to be aware of the risks of using it. Before you use a car, you got to know what can happen if you use that car. Same thing with the internet. It's a great tool, but you've got to know how to protect yourself. You at least have to know the things that you need to watch out for, so be skeptical. Be careful and don't click on any links.
Don't click on anything. Nothing. Don't send anything out ever with links.
Yes.
I would say the same thing as Rich, and then I would just add, we live so fast.
Yep.
We live so fast. And so with the internet and the emails and the text, it's just an instant world. I'm asking everyone to take 60 seconds, right? It's 60 seconds. Everyone's like, oh, I'm so busy. Well, who's not, right? I mean, I caught myself, I'm at a baseball game this weekend. I'm watching my kid and I had something pop up and I was like, what am I doing? I'm in this moment, but something pulled me away for this moment for a second. Why? Let's just slow down and let's focus on, what the beast is. What is it asking of me? And you would be surprised how much you will look back and realize how much you actually protected yourself.
and
No, that's-
saved hundreds of thousands of dollars potentially.
Right.
Right.
I mean,
Absolutely.
or your reputation or whatever
60
that looks like.
seconds.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's a great point. And especially a lot of people, like when they're at work, they're security conscious. They're looking at their emails. They're
Mhm.
doing that. As soon as they get on their phone, they forget all about
It's
it.
different.
Right.
Yeah. They're on their phone,
Good
get an
point.
email, click on a link, open an attachment, whatever.
Yeah.
Can't do that. It doesn't matter where you get that,
Yep.
that email or links or anything
Yep.
else from. You got to be skeptical.
Just take a breath.
Yeah.
You've said that before,
Yeah,
Ash. Like
just-
just take a breath.
Mhm.
Yep.
Is this real?
Mhm.
Ask the questions before.
Yep.
Right.
Great.
Always
Yep.
be skeptical.
Yeah.
Yep.
Great.
Wow, guys. Thank you both so much, not only for being here today, but just for the work that you do to keep our members, our company, and our businesses safe. We appreciate you very much. And just even our employees, like you guys work really hard every day to make sure that we're keeping everything protected. So appreciate the education you provided. There's some really great tips in here.
Yeah.
Some I'm even going to take away for myself and my family. So for other listeners, if you're listening to this podcast, have any financial topics you want to learn more about, you can email us at apennyforyourthoughts@centrisfcu.org. If you send us a link, we will not click on it. Just putting that out there.
It's because we're in HR.
Unless it's an
Called
HR
HR.
report, then we might. Just kidding. We will track down that expert for you to come onto the show. Make sure you subscribe to our podcast if you don't want to miss an episode. And that also helps others find us as well, just by rating, reviewing, and sharing. Also follow Centris on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and LinkedIn. Or check out our website at centrisfcu.org, where we have more great financial insights. And if you just want to chat with one of our amazing experts, or if you experience anything that you're skeptical about, or just want to talk to a financial institution that can help protect you, just give us a call at 402-334-7000. We really hope you enjoyed this episode. Thank you so much for listening.
Thanks, everyone.